تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
So guys, welcome back to Kaizen Cure in week 2. Now in today's module, we will be talking about success, and we'll be talking a lot about biohacking, some of the best tips and tricks I've found to really just improve your sleep. Because guys, if you're going to be working at a consistent level, or if you're going to be working at the pace and the level that you guys are probably currently operating out of, or you're aspiring to operate out of, success is a big aspect of it, which brings me on to the point that, guys, don't listen to this bullshit. You know, quotes like "I'll sleep when I'm dead," or when people tell you, "Dude, I hustle so hard that I only got 3 hours of sleep last night," or someone might tell you, "Dude, sleeping is for the weak." All this stuff comes out of some very raw motivational people, but I just think it's bullshit. Now, also to give you guys a bit of context, when I was building my social media marketing agency and I was still in high school, I was operating off of probably 3-4 hours of sleep a night. Not ideal at all. It really wasn't my choice, and as I said, it wasn't ideal, and it really wasn't my choice. But unfortunately, it's just what I had to do because I had a lot on my plate at the time. I had a lot on my plate at the time, and sometimes you just have to bootstrap it. But I also realized, I didn't take pride in the fact that I was sleeping so little, or I didn't, it was never a long-term goal of mine to sleep very little. Because quite frankly, you just cannot operate on that level for so long and then also not get enough sleep and then continue to operate on that level for so long. And just to kind of put this into perspective, sleeplessness and driving is a combination as serious as driving under the influence of alcohol. There have been a lot of studies done that basically show, you can read the study right here, but it basically shows that, after a prolonged period without sleep, performance is pretty much, when it comes to driving, performance is pretty much equal or worse than that of people who have consumed alcohol. And I don't know if you guys have ever gone on a binge where, like, for whatever reason, you just don't sleep for 24 hours or 36 hours, or maybe you get shitty sleep. You only get 2 hours of sleep for 2-3 days consecutively. And the only way I can describe it is I just feel numb. I feel spaced out. I don't feel as though I'm in a good position to go out and build a huge business and a huge company. I just feel spaced out. So please do not listen to anyone when they tell you, I hustled so hard that I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. I feel as though as kind of within the community and stuff like that, community of entrepreneurs, we do like to obviously show off our success and blah, blah, and we try to like paint a picture that we're always on it and stuff like that. Guys, I can tell you honestly, like, unless someone is a multi-millionaire, there is no way that they operate on a high level for more than 6 hours a day. Anything after 6 hours, they're shitting you. Like, they're not doing real work. They're doing some sort of busy work or some very like low energy, mental energy expenditure task. Even myself, I've been into self-development for 4 years, meditating for 4 years. I've done decently well. And I could probably say I can manage 5 to 6 hours of deep work, and then after that I'm done. So if someone is saying that if they're saying that I only got 3 hours of sleep last night, that means they're awake for 21 hours. There is no feasible way that they are working for 21 hours. There's no feasible way they're working for even 14 hours or even 12 hours or 10 hours. And considering how little sleep they get, I doubt that they even get 60 minutes of real fucking work done. So guys, I really don't want you to feel bad when someone who really isn't in a position to tell you anything tries to convince you that you gotta get less sleep, and that's a noble thing to do, and you should take pride in that. Do not take pride in that. If you're not in a position where you have a lot of sleep or are able to get a lot of sleep, that just means you have no control. Same thing when I was in school and trying to build up my marketing agency. I just didn't have any control. Right? And unfortunately, I just had to, kind of bootstrap my way through it until I got to a point where I could drop one thing and commit entirely to the other thing. And I know a lot of you guys are in that position. And unfortunately, for those of you guys that are in that position, you will genuinely just have to live off of 3, 4, 5, 6 hours if need be. but more than likely you could probably get a lot more sleep, and more than likely you're probably spending 90 minutes a day on your phone dicking around, and then at the end of the day you say, oh yeah, I don't have enough time for sleep, I'm working so hard. That's most people. I know me, I probably am efficient 20% of the day, or 20% of my time, and that's much better than most people. So really, as I said, this is me giving you permission, or this is me kind of like pulling back the curtain and saying, guys, people honestly do not work nearly as long or hard as they're trying to portray, and people can't operate for that level nearly in the same way that they're trying to portray. So please just don't feel bad and don't listen to these people. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, I gotta ask you, there's a scenario where there are two hikers that are about to embark on an 8-hour hike. Hiker one spends 30 minutes getting some good foods in his system. Hiker one sits down by a rock, starts eating some protein bar, has avocado on toast, gets some good water in him, whatever it may be. Okay, some good healthy fats and some good proteins. Okay, and that's what hiker does. Hiker number one does. Now hiker number two, he goes, dude, fuck that. Why would I'm already 30 minutes ahead of hiker number one by the fact that I decided I'm not gonna waste my time on this. Fuck sitting down for 30 minutes, putting food into my system, refueling.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.
I just want to plow ahead. I want to plow ahead and I want to crush it. So my question to you is, who would you place bets on getting up the hike faster? Yeah, sure, hiker number two. Dude, he might go on for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, but he'll start to fatigue. Okay, and that's the exact same thing with people who are trying to skip out on sleep. They're trying to be this guy, when, look, quite simply, you need sufficient fuel and rest. Now, if you're watching this, there's probably two main demographics. So the first demographic is the people who are just stupid enough to think that they don't sleep. They don't need sleep. Yeah, like, hopefully none of you guys watching this are naive enough to think that, sleeping 3, 4, 5 hours is a good idea. I know some of you guys watching this are in a position where you just kind of have to, because, you could be in a position like I was before. But then there's a second demographic, and the second demographic is the people who actually do get enough sleep, but just still wake up feeling super groggy and tired. So I know that's a lot of you guys. So the solution for the first demographic is pretty damn simple. Just get more sleep. Like, if you're in the first demographic, find a way, get more sleep. I would say an extra hour of sleep might add an extra 2-3 hours of productivity. Especially when you're in that like 3 to 6 hour range. The difference between, for example, me with 6 hours and getting 6 hours of sleep and 7.5 hours of sleep, for me, I don't really notice the difference that much these days. I still notice it. I still always aim for 7.5 hours rather than 6 hours, but it's not as big a difference compared to, say, if you get 4 hours of sleep compared to 3 hours of sleep. Okay, so for those of you that actually need to go ahead and improve their sleep, the second demographic, let's discuss a few ways to do that. And guys, I'm just gonna like spitball a couple of different ideas of you and lots of different things that I've worked on. And guys, this has taken me years and years to develop. I've worked with coaches on this. All of the peak performers I know, I always try to break down their sleep because it's such a pivotal part of their success, and they'll tell you themselves. So for a lot of you guys, your body is at rest, but your mind is awake. And I know this is particularly a big issue for entrepreneurs because, we let our body go to rest. We may get 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, but our mind is still ticking away. Right before bed, we're still thinking about the business, and leading up to bedtime, we're still thinking about the business, and we're so in our head, and we're so like just tense and not relaxed. Now, there's two issues with this. First of all, thinking, you actually burn energy when you think. I don't. Most people obviously don't realize that. Obviously, your brain uses up a lot of energy. So overthinking will just genuinely cause you to feel fatigued and to burn out. But overthinking about complex problems and worries, it's just a surefire way to have shitty sleep. You know, we want to go to bed in a relaxed, non-anxious state. And thinking about your business before bed is, as I said, is a terrible way, or is a surefire way to have shitty sleep. Okay, so the issue, as I said, is a lot of you guys you're putting your body to rest. You know, your body is getting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of rest, and your body's doing just fine. But your mind is still constantly playing, and your mind is constantly like in this battle. So, you know, at that point, it really doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter that you're still getting the correct amount of time, because as I said, your body or your mind is still constantly up, constantly playing. Now, the next thing is eating too close to bed. Now, one of the issues is eating late at night will initially raise your blood sugar. And basically what happens is, as your body, you know, as you actually sleep, your body goes into life fast. And if you eat before sleeping, you're more likely to experience a crash in blood sugar while asleep. This is actually one of the biggest reasons that insomniacs, you know, this is one of the biggest issues with insomniacs. Like, I forgot the study, but it basically showed that they got insomniacs to stop eating before bed, like 3 hours before bed, and that cured like a very large percentage of their issue, right? Because without getting too specific, a lot of people, they're actually having like blood sugar drops while they're sleeping, and that's causing them to wake up. And obviously, if you're having disturbed sleep, that's an issue. Also, a blood sugar drop, it sets out an alarm in your body that's like, okay, fuck, this is not good, right? And then that causes your body stress while you're sleeping, which obviously in turn you don't want your body to be stressed out, and your internal homeostasis to be disrupted while you're sleeping. Okay, and also your body is spending too much energy on digestion, which makes it harder to fall asleep. You know, your energy is being expended somewhere. Either it's being expended in your gut by digesting, either it's being expended in your head by overthinking, and neither of these two things are serving you and serving your sleep. So guys, really, I would recommend don't eat, I would say at least 2 hours before bed. Try and aim for 3 hours before bed, 4 hours even if you can. For me, it's usually 2-3 hours before bed. I stop eating entirely. Usually I try to aim for 3, okay? Now, this is by far the most important thing, your pre-bed routine. So basically our brain works off of triggers and will form automatic reactions to actions we take. So your nighttime routine is a way to signal to your brain that it's time to sleep.
تهیه و تنظیم در استدیو بیشتری.
Sleep. And your pre-bed routine should also be a checklist before you start the next day. So when you're going through your nighttime routine, basically what's happening in your brain is it's paving these, like, you know, really wiring in these neural pathways. It's just a trigger, you know. You'll find with people when they have habits, there's just some sort of thing that triggers it. Okay, maybe it is, I don't know, maybe it's checking your phone. Maybe a trigger for that is, I know my trigger for that is like, okay, it's time for lunch. And when it's lunch, I turn my phone off of airplane mode, or switch from my work phone to my regular phone, and there we go. Or another trigger for me might be just waking up, you know, and that's attached to having a coffee or whatever. You know, there's always a trigger that the habit stems from. And when we get into the habit of building a pre-bed routine, your brain is it's gonna be an automatic trigger to relax and decompress, and hopefully build up a bit of melatonin as well. Okay, so a pre-bed routine is by far one of the most important things you can implement right now. And a lot of focus, I think, is put towards morning routine. You know, everyone wants to know what's the morning routine of the ultra successful and stuff like that. But no one ever really worries about the pre-bed routine. Not as many people put their attention towards that. But guys, I can tell you honestly, if you want to wake up at 5:30, having a pre-bed routine is the most important thing you can do. And one of the aspects of that is actually cutting off your phone. So pretty much the biggest roadblock to you relaxing and settling down for a good night's rest is having your phone switched on. So Guys, if you are about to go to bed and you're waiting on a text back from your contractor, or you're waiting on some comments to come through on your new YouTube video, or waiting on a text from a friend, like that is really gonna fuck with your sleep. The last thing you can think about is sleeping at that point. Now you're just worried and trying to make sure that your friend hits you back or whatever it may be. Okay, so having a phone cut off is one of the most important things that you can do. And yeah, guys, I mean, you just like really, I cannot even begin to tell you how much of social media is incredible. How connected we are is incredible, but it will fuck you up so bad if you let it. Okay, so I really, really urge you, cut your phone off 45 minutes to an hour before bed. Turn your phone on airplane mode. And in the next week, we'll be discussing my pre-bed routine. I'll be showing you exactly how to do that. Guys, this is one of the best things you could ever do. Okay? Turn your phone off before bed, and it's just gonna, it's just like you're gonna disconnect from the world. And the only thing you have to worry about then is coming back to your roots, coming back to your goals, your dreams, doing your visualizations before bed, and just passing out and having incredible sleep. So as I said, set a designated time that you put your phone on airplane mode. For me, it is 45 minutes before I go to bed. So I always go to bed, people ask me this a lot because they know I wake up at 5:30. I always go to bed at 10 or 11:30. So at 9:15, my phone goes on airplane mode, or at 10:45, my phone goes on airplane mode. One or the other, depending on what time I'm going to bed that day. Next thing is nighttime tea. So guys, I actually brew loose leaf tea an hour before bed. So I'm sure you guys can go to some, in your city or your town or whatever it may be. I'm sure you have some sort of like tea place. Okay, and from there, just get a teapot with one of those like things to actually catch the loose leaf tea. I forget what they're called, to actually brew it. For me, it cost it was like $40 or something. I got a really nice glass one, and then just drink loose leaf tea. Okay. Firstly, this is actually a mental cue that it's ready to, it's time to get ready for sleep. Okay, so more and more of these rituals, like when you build a ritual, it will really solidify the result. A ritual equals the result. Okay, you want to leave as much, like you want to have no guessing games when it comes to your life and the most important aspects of it. In terms of your morning routine, no guessing games. In terms of your nighttime routine, no guessing games. In terms of getting good sleep, do the right actions, build the ritual that will bring the result. Okay, so for me, brewing nighttime tea is just another way to build that ritual and signal to my brain it is time for bed. Now, I also drink chamomile tea, which is shown to decrease anxiety and stress. Chamomile tea is just, it's something great to drink before bed. Guys, do not drink any sort of green tea or black tea or anything like that. That stuff has caffeine in it. Yeah, seriously, if I were you, just go to a tea store in your city or your town and just pick up one of these, like these teapots or whatever that you can just brew in there. Also, guys, I really don't like tea bags. I just like loose leaf tea. It's more natural. It's better selection, and I don't know. It's just like it's become a ritual. Like there's certain things, they just become a ritual, and you just enjoy doing them. And for me, brewing my tea, which only takes a few minutes, and I don't actually have to do anything. It's just become part of that nighttime routine. And obviously, the incredible effects of chamomile tea, which honestly I can tell you, after I drink my chamomile tea, like I feel so like mellow, and I just feel like de-stressed. And especially because my phone is turned off now, all my email has been done, my texts have been done, I've talked to my team on Slack, everything's done. I know that no one needs to fucking talk to me or communicate with me, so that's done. My phone is on airplane mode, I'm drinking my tea, and you guys, as I said, in the next week you'll actually see what my nighttime routine is. I'm drinking my tea, I'm going over what I need to do for tomorrow, okay? I'm going over my goals, seeing where I'm at with them, and then I lay out my clothes for the next day, prepare.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
Prepare, get ready. As I said, I already drunk my tea at this point, and it's just like, it's my time to disconnect from the world. And I treat sleep with so much respect, because if you want to perform at the highest level, you have to. Now, another amazing thing, and guys, another great hack is incense sticks. So I actually light incense sticks in my bathroom while I'm brushing my teeth and prepping for bed. So basically what incense sticks, I keep mispronouncing that, but what they'll actually do for you is, first of all, it's just building that ritual, right? It's just adding on more to that ritual, which is already mega powerful. But the other thing that it'll do is the smell of the sticks. They'll focus, they'll get you to focus on your breathing. And that's actually why a lot of people use them when they meditate. Or you'll see a lot of peak performers, they'll use them when they're trying to get in the zone, or when they're just about to jump into an important write. Like a lot of writers will use it as well, because basically what it does is it gets you to focus on your smell, or like focus on breathing, which in turn causes you to become more present to the moment and get out of your head. Remember, a lot of you guys are going to bed and you're thinking about the future or the past, when instead you need to be focused on the present. Okay, and if you want to get good sleep, just really clear, deep sleep, uninterrupted, you can't be thinking about the future or the past, or at least really dwelling on it. Now, I know, as I said, we're doing visualizations before bed, but you know, that doesn't come with worry or stress or anything like that. You know, that's just a fun activity. Okay, so this is such a cheap and easy hack for you to implement tomorrow. Just literally go on Amazon right now, go order some incense sticks, and go order like one of these stick holders. All in all, you could probably get a month's supply plus the holder for like 5, 10, 20 bucks. Like I got it from one of my friends actually gave it to me for my birthday, but it's ridiculously cheap. Okay, and you can just light them before bed, and as I said, it will get you to, like, it'll force you to focus on your breathing. And when you focus on your breathing, then as I said, you'll get more present to the moment, which in turn will lead to much, much better sleep. Now, next thing you want to do is you actually want to make your bed/bedroom holy. So most people, they relax or they watch movies on their bed, and that's burning a neural pathway in their brain. Okay, remember, that's an old reference point. So now your brain is going, okay, when I'm in my bed, I stay awake. Like, I stay awake and I'm alert. Obviously, the blue light from your computer is probably even making that worse. Now, you need to use your bed for 2 things only, and that's sleep and sex. Don't ever use your bed for anything outside of that. Don't fucking type in your bed. Don't read your book in your bed. Don't do anything like that. Okay, just use your bed for 2 things and 2 things only. Now, even better than that is try to avoid working in your bedroom altogether. Now, I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys, for example, may still be living with your parents. And that means you might work in the same room that you sleep. That's okay, but I'm telling you that's having a terrible effect on your sleep. Okay? Even your bedroom, if you can, try to avoid working in your bedroom. Okay? Try avoid working in your bedroom and only work. When you watch movies, when you read, when you work, don't do that in your bedroom. So that, as I said, when you step into that room, when you smell those incense sticks, when you drink that chamomile tea, when you turn your phone off, when you have that nighttime ritual set up, that's it. Your brain knows. It's an automatic reaction at this point. Your brain knows what to do. Your brain knows that it's time for bed. Okay? Now, the next thing you can do is actually get an Oura ring to track sleep. So this is a sleep tracker, guys. I do warn you, it's more on the pricey side, I guess you could say. I think it's like 300 or 400 bucks. There was an old version of it, and now there's a new version of it that I actually just pre-ordered. You'll see a lot of people, for example, if you guys know a guy called Stephen James, Project Life Mastery, you'll see people like Sam Ovens, even, if you guys know who that is. They use the Oura ring for their sleep. So they'll put, I know Stephen James just literally keeps the Oura ring on at all time. So that tracks his sleep. That also tracks his, his day-to-day activity. It's like a very, very smart fitness and sleep tracker. Okay, and it works a lot better because it's actually on your finger.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.
On your finger rather than your wrist, which for me is good for 2 reasons. First of all, it's more accurate, and number 2, I would just never wear a wrist sleep. Like, I would never wear a wrist fitness tracker. I just think they look ugly as hell, and I'm too into like fashion and jewelry and stuff like that. So as I said, mine hasn't arrived yet because it's the new version. So I pre-ordered it, but I still haven't decided whether I'm going to wear it throughout the day or just while I'm sleeping. But as I said, this is super low key, so you can wear it, you know, in the day as well as the night. But it collects a lot of data, so you can have all the data on your sleep and see how different variables have different effects. So you know, you can see, seeing the data, you can see everything from like your sleep temperature, like your bodily temperature, like your heart rate, your REM sleep. Like there's a lot of really good data because it's so close to the skin. So you can start to see like how different variables have different effect. Okay, you can literally, like I even recommend it for a week. Don't turn your phone off before bed. Use your phone as you were before. And then after that, turn it off. And literally you can see, the data will show you the difference. Or for example, another thing you can do is you can see the optimal time to eat before bed. Try 1 hour before bed for a week. Then try 2 hours before bed for a week. Then try 3 hours before bed for a week. 4 hours before bed for a week. And find an optimal time. And the data will show you that, okay, if you eat 1 hour or 2 hours before bed, you'll get shittier sleep than if you eat 3 hours before bed. Okay, so as I said, this is a bit more on the expensive side, but yeah, guys, go look it up. As I said, I've got mine coming very shortly, and I guess I'll keep you updated probably in the bonuses section if you guys would like to see more of a review of this. But yeah, as I said, this is a great way to actually track your sleep. Now, one other that I actually missed was a Flux. Okay, so that is F-L-U-X. F-L-U-X, Flux. What it actually does is it will change the color temperature of your screen. Now, let me see if I actually have it. Let me go ahead and, yeah, what it'll do is actually change the color temperature of your screen. Let me see if I can pull up the preferences. So you can see my preferences. So 5:30 is when I wake up. So I don't know if this will actually show on the recording or whether this will just show on my screen. But you can see that things really start to change. You know, so this is daytime. And then as the sun starts to set, this is what the color temperature will set it to. And then at bedtime, this is the color temperature will set it to. Now, obviously, guys, one of the issues with our modern day society is it's like we have blue light all the time. Like your brain never really knows when you're sleeping or when it's time to sleep because you're exposed to so much blue light. So on iPhone, they already have an automatic feature which you can turn on. I forget what it's called. I have it turned on. It's okay. On MacBook, they also have an automatic feature, but I really don't like it. I don't like it anywhere near the same, you know, as much as I like Flux. And as I said, Flux is good because you can set the time that you wake up, and then it'll, you know, move the color temperature according to that. So yeah, guys, that is the Aura Ring, and that is Flux. Now, for today's action step, I just want you to turn off all screens 45 to 60 minutes before bed tonight and see how you feel in the morning. Okay? Because as I said, this is really knocking out the most important thing, which is the fact that you are probably going to bed and you're thinking your head is so far into the future and the past in a very technical and logical way, not referring to the visualizations and stuff like that. And you know, you're thinking about, okay, has this person replied to me? Maybe there might be notifications going off. Like, it's just a complete mess. And you know, as I said, it's really going to be hindering your sleep. And guys, the success is in your sleep. Like, seriously. I'm sure you can all relate to the days when you wake up, you're feeling tired and groggy, and the day is pretty much doomed from there. So, guys, that's your action step, and I will see you in the next one.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.